Hi, this is Stacy with Lily Bean Crafts by Stacy. Welcome back, and if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm working on a 12-ounce skinny koozie that I got from the Stainless Depot, and I like it because it has this really nice lip at the top, and it also has a bottle opener at the bottom, and I already went ahead and prepped it and sanded it, and I got this really cute semi-transparent vinyl when I was at TumblerCon. I was talking to April at the Vinyl Cottage, and she showed this to me, and I just loved it. So I went ahead and I spray painted the tumbler, and I spray painted it with Behr's Roasted Corn for the yellow, Rustoleum Sweet Pea for the pink middle section, and Colorshot Aromatherapy for the bottom. And I'm going to go in and do a three-way ombre with this. And I used all Peachy olive glitters on this one. So right now I'm working with Petunia, which is just a really pretty translucent purple so that you really see the purple from the spray paint come through. And then at the top of it, I'm going to go in with Lazydaze, which is another translucent yellow that's a little bit on the lighter side. I thought that would go really great with the yellow spray paint that I used. And for the center, I'm going to go in with Pink Sands. And this one was really great because I knew it was going to blend well with the two colors. So I kept the video at real time so that you can kind of see exactly how I did this three-way ombre. So starting with the Petunia, I hit the bottom with full coverage, and then I tilted the cup up, let it drizzle down into the pink section a little bit, stopped there, took scissors, cleaned it off, went in with the Lazydaze, hit the top portion of it pretty thick, tilted it in the other direction and brought the yellow down. And then when it comes to the Pink Sands, I'm starting with the tumbler completely horizontal, hitting the complete middle of it with a little bit extra coverage. And then I'm going to tilt it down into the purple so that it starts to blend a little bit into the purple. And then I'm going to tilt it in the other direction like you see here. And it's going to slowly start blending into the yellow, the Lazydaze. From here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit it a second time, and this is where I'm going to get the full coverage on it. So I'm just going to kind of move these other glitter colors off to the side because I'm still going to need to use those colors. So once again, going back to the Petunia, I'm going to hit the bottom again, make sure that it's completely covered, and as I tilt it up, I am going to hit it with a little bit more full coverage into the Pink Sands, making sure that it's getting a nice blend. And then once again, going to tap it off. I'm going to bring back the paper for the Lazydaze, starting at the top of that, making sure that I'm getting complete full coverage at the top, tilting the tumbler down, and then I'm going to start working it a little bit heavier into the Pink Sands from this direction. And then I'm going to bring in the paper for the Pink Sands, and once again, hitting the very middle of that, making sure I get full coverage, tilting it down, really letting it go and getting full coverage into the Petunia, and then bringing it up and really hitting it into the Lazydaze. And that's exactly how I get the beautiful ombre that you see here. I have this completely covered. I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape that I have at the very top of it because I don't want any of that to stick. Now, I didn't mention it, but I did use the epoxy method when I applied the glitter. That is how I get my best ombres. I use about an ounce of my fast set epoxy. I let that dry for 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm going to go in. I'm using my Crystalette glitter glue here, and I'm going to give it some full coverage so that it gets nice and sealed. Want to make sure that everything is exactly where it needs to be because it's just a really pretty ombre and I don't want to mess with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for about 3 to 4 hours and go in with my first set of my fast set epoxy here. I'm using about 20 mLs of my Flynn Sisters fast set epoxy. I'm going to get full coverage on this. I'm going to let it dry for 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm going to go in with another 15 mLs of my epoxy and put on a second coat. Let that go for 3 to 4 hours until it's completely dry, and then we can start doing the decal work. Want to make sure that you remove the tape once you have all the epoxy on. You don't want to take a chance on having that stick to the tumbler because that can mess up your design. I decided because I had this nice thick lid for the top of this koozie that I would go ahead and spray paint it and glitter it and design this portion of it as well. So I did go back in with my Behr Roasted corn spray paint, and I spray painted the top of this, and then I let that dry completely, and now I'm just going in with my adhesive apothecary glitter glue because this dries really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there, and then I'm going to add the Lazydaze to this, and I'm going to let this dry for a half an hour. Once that was dry, I decided that I was just going to go ahead and UV resin the rest of this. So I'm going to seal it with my UV resin. I probably should have just done the UV resin instead of the adhesive apothecary glitter glue. It would have been so much faster, but still got the same results. So I'm sealing it with just some UV resin that I got from Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. And I'm going to go ahead and put this under my lamp for, I think I did it for about 2 minutes total to dry that off. And then I actually wound up going in like 3 more times, putting on a bunch of coats of the UV resin. The reason that I like it is because it does work so fast. And even though it took me multiple layers, it didn't take me more than an hour to get this completely done. Now I'm going to go in with the semi-transparent vinyl that I got from the Vinyl Cottage. And what I love about sheets like this is that I can individually cut out the pieces that I want instead of having to do a full wrap. And with the way this tumbler is designed, I want to have the ombre be the focal point and for us to just have a few accent points. So I decided to cut a few pieces out. And because I did the lid, I'm able to actually incorporate it all the way up into the lid, and that kind of gives it a different look that just adds a little bit to it. So I'm just going to kind of place it up to get an idea and take my X-Acto knife and kind of cut it out where I want it to be to make sure that I have that seam, but also make it look kind of seamless when you're just visually looking at the tumbler. I'm going in with 15 mLs of my fast set epoxy, and I'm going to let this go for 3 to 4 hours. I am also going to be using the epoxy at this point in time on the lid because I want to make sure it has that nice shine. So that's also going to spin for 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm going to clean everything up, sand it down really good, and then go in with my final coat of epoxy For a 12-ounce skinny, I only needed 10 mLs of the medium viscosity Artist Cure from Flint Sisters. Like I said, I wanted to get that shine, and I'm going to be doing the same exact thing with the topper. And I'm going to make sure that I get this tape off of here, and I use the torch and I sand it all down, and I'm going to let this spin for roughly about 8 hours. Here's where you're kind of seeing me apply the epoxy to the top of it. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that I got that shine, so I didn't want to use the UV resin. And I'm going to let this go until it is all completely dry, and then the tumbler will be ready. If you want any more tips or tricks from me, check out my Facebook group, my Lily Bean Crafters community, where I will post any discount codes from any of the companies that I'm affiliated with, or any techniques that I'm using. If I make any SVGs or PNGs, I'll go ahead and list them there too. So if you're not already on there, go ahead and check it out. And here is the finished product. I am so sad that we're going to be wrapping up summer soon. I just love the bright colors and all the elements that go along with summer, but it's about time to switch over to fall and Halloween. So keep your eyes out on that. That's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.